For centuries, China slumbered. A giant, yes, but a peaceful one, focused inward on its own vast lands and ancient traditions. No longer. The dragon has awakened, and the world watches with a mixture of awe and apprehension. China's military might is growing at an unprecedented rate, transforming the balance of power and raising urgent questions about its ambitions on the global stage. This is not a story of overnight success. It is the culmination of decades of planning, investment, and sacrifice, driven by a deep-seated desire to reclaim what China perceives as its rightful place at the top of the global hierarchy. To understand the scale and significance of this transformation, we must first journey back in time to the era of humiliation that fueled China's ambitions. From the modernization of its armed forces to its expanding presence on land and sea, China's actions are sending shockwaves through the international community. To grasp China's military ambitions, one must understand the century of humiliation. From the Opium Wars to the Japanese invasion, China faced devastating defeats and humiliations. Forced to sign unequal treaties and endure foreign occupation, China was a shadow of its former glory. This period left an indelible scar on the Chinese psyche. It instilled resentment towards the West and a desire to restore China's pride. The CCP, in power since 1949, promised to erase this humiliation and restore China. Military power is essential for national defense and securing interests in a competitive world. Since the late 1990s, China has embarked on a relentless drive to modernize its armed forces. Fueled by sustained economic growth, China has poured vast resources into upgrading its military hardware, developing cutting-edge technologies, and professionalizing its troops. The results have been nothing short of remarkable. China's military budget has grown at an average rate of nearly 10% per year for the past 2 decades, far outpacing global averages. This massive investment has allowed China to acquire advanced fighter jets, warships, missiles, and cyber warfare capabilities, narrowing the technological gap with the United States and its allies. The PLA has undergone extensive reforms aimed at improving its training, logistics, and command structures, with a focus on joint operations and information warfare. The scale and speed of China's military modernization have taken many by surprise, raising concerns about its long-term intentions. While China maintains that its military development is purely defensive, its growing capabilities and assertive actions in disputed territories have fueled anxieties about its ultimate goals. China's military modernization is not confined to its borders. From the South China Sea to the Indian Ocean, China is asserting its presence, projecting power far beyond its shores. This expansion includes building artificial islands, militarizing disputed territories, and establishing overseas military bases. China's assertiveness in the South China Sea is a striking example. Despite overlapping claims, China has constructed islands equipped with airstrips, harbors, and military installations. These actions have heightened regional tensions and raised concerns about China's willingness to use force. Section 5. Shadows in the Ranks. The hidden costs of military might. Behind China's military modernization lie hidden costs and troubling practices. The CCP's pursuit of military power comes at the expense of human rights and transparency. Forced labor in defense industries and lack of transparency raise ethical concerns. Reports of forced labor in defense factories and shipyards are troubling. Prisoners, including Uyghur Muslims, allegedly face harsh conditions producing goods for the PLA. China's military development lacks transparency, fueling suspicion and mistrust. Section 6. The Cyber Dragon Waging War in the Digital Age. China's military ambitions extend far beyond traditional battlefields. In the 21st century, the front lines are increasingly digital, and China has emerged as a formidable cyber power. From hacking government networks to stealing intellectual property, China's cyber espionage operations have become a major concern for governments and businesses around the world. The PLA has invested heavily in developing its cyber warfare units, recruiting skilled hackers, and developing sophisticated tools for conducting espionage, sabotage, and propaganda. These capabilities give China a powerful asymmetric advantage, allowing it to target adversaries' critical infrastructure, steal sensitive information, and disrupt their economies. China's cyber espionage operations have targeted a wide range of sectors, including government agencies, defense contractors, technology companies, and research institutions. Stolen intellectual property and sensitive data can give China a competitive advantage in key industries and help it accelerate its military modernization. The United States and its allies have accused China of engaging in widespread cyber espionage for economic and military gain. Section 7. Friends and Foes, China's Strategic Alliances. As China's military power grows, so too does its network of strategic partnerships and alliances. From strengthening ties with traditional allies to forging new partnerships with countries seeking to counterbalance Western influence, China is actively cultivating relationships that advance its interests and expand its global influence. One of China's most important strategic relationships is with Russia. Despite historical tensions, the two countries have found common ground in their shared distrust of the United States and its allies. China and Russia have deepened their military cooperation in recent years, conducting joint exercises and sharing military technology. China has also strengthened ties with countries in Southeast Asia, Central Asia, and Africa. Through economic investments, infrastructure projects, and arms sales, China is expanding its influence in these regions, often filling the void left by retreating Western powers. These relationships provide China with access to resources, markets, and strategic locations, enhancing its global reach. Section 8. The Taiwan Question, a flashpoint in the Pacific. No issue is more sensitive in China's foreign policy than the status of Taiwan. China views Taiwan as a breakaway province that must eventually be reunified with the mainland, by force if necessary. Taiwan, on the other hand, maintains its de facto independence and has vowed to defend itself against any Chinese aggression. The Taiwan issue is a potential flashpoint in the Asia-Pacific region and a major source of tension between China and the United States. The United States has a long-standing commitment to Taiwan's defense and has provided it with billions of dollars in arms sales over the years. Any attempt by China to take Taiwan by force would likely draw the United States into a conflict. China has increased its military pressure on Taiwan in recent years, conducting military exercises near the island and sending warships and aircraft into Taiwan's air defense identification zone. These actions are seen as a way for China to intimidate Taiwan and signal its resolve to eventually reunify the island with the mainland. Section 9. The World Watches, Global Reactions to China's Rise. China's rapid military rise has not gone unnoticed. Governments, analysts, and ordinary citizens around the world are grappling with the implications of a more powerful and assertive China. Reactions to China's growing military might have been mixed, ranging from cautious engagement to outright alarm. Some countries view China's rise as an opportunity. They see China's economic and military clout as a potential counterbalance to Western dominance and an opportunity to forge closer ties with a rising power. These countries often welcome Chinese investments and are willing to overlook concerns about human rights and transparency. Others, however, view China's growing military power with suspicion and concern. Section 10. The Future of Power. What does China's military might mean? China's military rise is one of the most consequential geopolitical developments of the 21st century. It is reshaping the balance of power, altering regional dynamics, and raising fundamental questions about the future of the international order. As China's military might continues to grow, the world must grapple with the challenges and opportunities it presents. One of the most pressing challenges is the risk of conflict. China's assertiveness in disputed territories, its growing military presence in the Indo-Pacific region, and its increasingly capable armed forces have raised concerns about the potential for miscalculation and escalation. Managing these risks will require clear communication, confidence-building measures, and a willingness to find common ground on issues of shared concern. Beyond the risk of conflict, China's military rise also presents opportunities for cooperation. Section 11. Conclusion. A new era of uncertainty. The dragon has awakened. China's military rise is a defining feature of the 21st century, reshaping the global order and ushering in an era of profound uncertainty. The world is only beginning to grapple with the implications of a more powerful and assertive China, and the choices made in the coming years will have far-reaching consequences. Whether China's rise leads to conflict or cooperation remains to be seen. The challenge for the international community is to manage this transition peacefully and productively, ensuring that China's growing power is used responsibly and for the benefit of all.